She reached a point where she started telling me that I am having thoughts and sometimes I wish my baby did not exist.
So this sounds like postpartum depression, even postpartum psychosis. When someone who's been very easy to get scared, you have to have a very good hearing ability over here. Not only the doctor, even the patient's husband, the family, because this postpartum phase is tough.
Right.
The patient's husband has to be very, very patient over here. He has to have a very good hearing ability.
Have you seen husbands actually going through that counseling and supporting their wives?
The husband comes and tells me, she's crying continuously, पता नहीं सब कुछ तो है, इतनी अच्छी सर्वेंट ला के दिया है, इतना अच्छा घर है, मनी इशू नहीं है, गुड कंफर्टेबल हाउस है, खुशी नहीं है.
How women actually make a lot of life decisions around their reproductive health. उसकी वजह से शादी का भी प्रेशर बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. So even if you're not happy with your partner,
Sounds quite sad and painful. Yeah, so the fertility levels after the age of 30 drop % every year. See, you have to get married, get along, be compatible, be romantic, be sexually active, have a child. सबका easily नहीं होता है ऐसा.
Correct.
This is a good option. You can freeze your egg, you can freeze your sperms, and you can become pregnant even later on, because the time you freeze your eggs remain as young as you were at that time.
I think many people don't know about this. Or the ones who know, if they talk about this to others,
Yeah.
there's a lot of judgment.
People aren't happy in India with anything. Even if you have one child, they want to bring a second child.
So doctor, what are the 2 or 3 things that a woman can do when there is a premenstrual or the luteal stage, when she's feeling irritable, bloated?
There are supplements called a few therapies like for the excessive breast pain.
It is normal or natural to have pain during intercourse.
Vaginismus is the absolute fear of sex.
So is stress and fertility really related?
Now it's not like a project. You're not planning to study for an exam.
So what would you say to people, any 3 things that they need to do if they are dealing with fertility issues to stay stress-free?
Dr. Ankesh Sahitya is a highly esteemed practitioner with an impressive array of qualifications and over 15 years of invaluable experience in the field. Dr. Sahitya stands as a beacon of excellence, renowned for his unwavering dedication to providing the best possible care to women at every stage of life. He holds special interests in infertility and polycystic ovarian disease (PCOD) and has been honored with the PCOS Champion Award by the PCOS Society of India, reflecting his commitment and contribution to women's reproductive health.
Women are mostly governed by their hormones. अरे उसका तो PMS चल रहा है, वो ऐसे ही चिड़चिड़ करेगी, या फिर जल्दी शादी कर लो क्योंकि नहीं तो बाद में बच्चा नहीं होगा या बच्चा होने में प्रॉब्लम होगी. From periods to post pregnancy to sex, fertility, to your entire reproductive system, women go through a lot of changes almost every single day. And those changes also affect your mental health and your mindset. Most importantly, your emotions. So let us understand that ये जो बात हमने की उसमें कितनी सच्चाई है, कितनी नहीं है. Should women really make life decisions based on their biological clock? Should women feel ashamed or guilty while talking about sex? Should women be very stressed about being a fertile person or their reproduction? So let us understand more about this from none other than Dr. Ankesh Sahitya. Welcome, Dr. Ankesh.
Thank you so much, Sonal, for coming. Thank you so much.
So as much as I know you, you're a very empathetic doctor and you really counsel your patients.
Try to.
I mean, you really care. That much I know.
Thank you.
And I also saw that you also counsel your patients in a way where they can really understand themselves better. So I just want to know कि आप कैसे guide करेंगे ऐसे patient को. So for example, एक 34-year-old female, okay, and she had recently delivered, 1 महीने का उसका baby था, and she was having issues with lactation. So काफ़ी lactation consultants के पास जाने के बावजूद भी she was not very successful in breastfeeding, मतलब nursing. She could pump but she could not nurse. And the baby had IUGR, intrauterine growth restriction. So the baby was already very small and she was very much concerned about the baby's weight. तो इतना शी वाज प्रेशराइज्ड बाय द होल फैमिली एंड लोग कैसे बोलते हैं कि हमें थोड़ा गोल गप्पू
Yeah,
जैसा
of course.
बेबी चाहिए,
Yeah, yeah.
राइट? सो शी वाज वेरी मच वरिड एंड कांस्टेंट कंपैरिजन शी यूज्ड टू डू। और वो ना उसके लिए फीडिंग यूज्ड टू बी स्ट्रेसफुल सेशंस, मतलब बॉटल भी अगर वो दे रही है तो उसको काफ़ी स्ट्रेस होता था। एंड इज़ द बेबी गोइंग टू फिनिश दैट मैनी ml, हर हफ्ते उसका वेट चेक करना, कितना डाइपर यूरिनेट किया है,
Hmm.
पॉटी किया है, एवरीथिंग शी वुड कीप अ ट्रैक कंटिन्यूअसली। एंड she reached a point where she started telling me that I am having suicidal thoughts and sometimes I wish my baby did not exist.
Yeah, these things happen. So, yeah, you're done with the question I can ask.
Yeah. So how would, if a patient like this comes to you, then how would you guide them and what would you say about
Yeah.
something like
So
this?
this sounds like postpartum depression, even postpartum psychosis. This happens. It's, there are certain personality types. If a woman's already been a very anxious person, been a person who's been paranoid, been someone who's been very easy to get scared, these women have more exaggerated postpartum depression. On the other hand, someone who's been more bold, someone who's been more happy-go-lucky, good support system, don't bother. If somebody has had any problems, for example, before marriage with their family, some childhood trauma, if there's a non-supportive partner, if they have problems like, the child wasn't planned, the pregnancy wasn't smooth,
Okay.
such patients have to, be expected to have postpartum depression. We have actually identified to, which kind of patients get more chances of all this.
Okay.
You actually ask them how the pregnancy was planned, was it a happy planning, how did the pregnancy go off, things like that. Also, kabhi the birth can be traumatic. The entire process, if you undergo a normal delivery, it's not easy. Some have a very smooth, but not everybody has a very smooth time.
Right.
And there are different kinds of experiences, the kind of doctor you get, did you deliver normally, cesarean section, things like that. How you are with your in-laws, were you having a good relation with them priorly, are you staying with them now or separated, are you having a good support system. So the first and foremost thing is being a patient hearing over here. You have to have a very good hearing ability over here, not only the doctor, even the patient's husband, the family,
Right.
because this postpartum phase is tough. All the hormones of pregnancy have left your body. All the attention you got for yourself, for eating, for taking care is all gone now. People are only asking, baby kaisa hai, baby theek hai, how's everything? They forget about you. You get sidelined.
Right.
So there's some sort of a little anger, some sort of a little resentfulness against yourself. So you can counsel the patient very, very well. Always refer to a psychologist, like, you talk to somebody who can really help the patient in experience of this. You can also refer to a psychiatrist. You can start very, very mild antidepressants, antipsychotics. But the first and foremost thing is counseling.
Right.
The patient's husband has to be very, very patient over here. He has to have a very good hearing ability. If he's someone who's impatient, the family is not very supportive, these cases go downhill. Also, in this postpartum phase is the maximum time the relation issues are there.
Right.
Like the marital life, the sexual life goes for a toss for obvious reasons.
Correct.
Because if you're unhappy with someone, how can you be sexually active with them?
Right.
At the same time, if there's no good moral support in those crucial phases, these things go downhill. There could be infidelity, there could be, divorces, there could be separation. So these are all painful phases. It can also occur for the first 2 years, it can occur in the first few months also. So the mainstay would be counseling, therapy, and more importantly, if it's very out of hand, don't delay going to a psychiatrist and going for
Right.
antidepressants, antipsychotics, and just be hopeful. And joint couple counseling will be very, very helpful. If the woman wants to go away to her mother's house for a few days, wants to go for a vacation, wants to be busy, occupied, keeping her happy is the important challenge over here. That has to be done.
So important that husband's support is very, very important.
Immense.
But have you seen husbands actually going through that counseling and supporting their wives?
Mostly yes, but usually when these things happen, it's like, the husband comes and tells me, she's crying continuously, पता नहीं सब कुछ तो है, इतनी अच्छी सर्वेंट लाके दिया है, इतना अच्छा घर है, मनी इशू नहीं है, good comfortable house है, खुशी नहीं है, खुशी नहीं है. I tell him, be patient with her, give it some time. Doctor, everything I've done, I'm fed up, I can't sleep. She's absolutely, always unhappy, complaining. Sometimes there is some truth to it, that, someone's nature is such. But at times you have to explain to the husband that be more patient. Of course, if things are very, very out of hand, then of course family gets involved.
Right.
But at sometimes these patients come with their sister or mother or best friend. Husband is busy at work because somebody has to earn the money also to run the house.
Right.
So sometimes it goes off road, it goes bad.
So what are the 3 things that husbands should do to
Oh.
support their wife postpartum?
Be very, very patient, be a good listener, and the third time, not react. If the husband reacts to the wife's complaining, it goes bad. And imagine fighting near a small child who's 1, 2, 3 months,
Right.
not very good. So being patient, being a good listener, and not reacting to anything, being late to react, responding rather than reacting. 3 things.
So, doctor, I wanted to ask about how women actually make a lot of life decisions around their reproductive health. So,
Yes, absolutely.
जैसे पेरेंट्स भी कहते हैं कि जल्दी शादी करो, you have to have a child before a certain age, before 30 you should have your first child, before 35 you should have your second child. उसकी वजह से शादी का भी प्रेशर बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. So
Right.
even if you're not happy with your partner or your choice, you kind of have to get married or या फिर निभानी पड़ती है वो शादी.
Sounds quite sad and painful. See, it's a very, very important decision choosing a good spouse.
Yeah.
First, you have to be a good person yourself. Then you have to find somebody else who is a good person in your eyes and your parents' eyes. More importantly, you have to find a match, get along. People say match kundlis, people say match, your stars, but I would say it's very important to match your personalities. Of course, the right age to have a child is ideally between 25 and 30. It's the best age. If you see our ancestors,
Doctor.
yeah, so the fertility levels after the age of 30 drop by 5% every year.
Oh,
And after 35, it goes even faster. For example, if it's dropping gradually after 30, after 35 takes a nosedive. And the faster it drops, then the egg quality, the egg quantity is lesser. And then someone conceives also after 35, there's a small chance of miscarriage, having an abnormal child, having a special child. This is a small percentage.
because of the egg quality.
Egg quality, because egg quality and egg quantity both suffer after 35, the number and the quality.
Right.
Also, when the sperm and the egg fuse, the kind of embryo they form, even that fertilization process could be affected because of the egg quality. It happens earlier in women, it happens in men even later on. So that's why the pressure to get married. Now we have so many patients coming to us, Sonal, so many patients inquiring regarding egg freezing. You have somebody who's an actress, someone who's a model, someone who's been working in the corporate line, and they are not looking to get married. They are 32, 33, doing well, successful, content, taking care of themselves, house, working out, maybe having a partner, being sexually active, लेकिन शादी नहीं की है.
Right.
Not ready, because शादी is a very big decision. And शादी नहीं हो रही है for any forsaken reason. These patients are freezing the eggs, and I ask them what happened. Doctor, I'm doing it for my family. My mother's fed up of me, and she's scared about the pregnancy part of it. So I've convinced her this is the backup. It's like an insurance. I freeze my eggs with you. I'll renew the money, the payment rental every year, and then I want to have a child at 37, 38. I can come back with my partner then, and we can use a sperm, defreeze the egg, and impregnate it. So it's a very good choice. See,
Okay.
if you now, unfortunately or fortunately, you can't find someone before 35, you can't get married. See, you have to get married, get along, be compatible, be romantic, be sexually active, have a child. Sabka easily nahi hota hai aisa.
Correct.
Some people who fall in love, they find a lovely partner, they are attracted right from their college or school days. For them, life is easy. But somebody who's had a hard life, someone who's not found the right person for any reason, wo kya kare? So this is a good option. You can freeze your eggs, you can freeze your sperms, and you can become pregnant even later on, because the time you freeze your eggs remain as young as you were at that time. Let's say you were 31 and you froze your eggs, and you come back at 37 for the transfer. Your eggs are still 31 years old.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing that you kind of you conserve your fertility and you preserve it.
But are many people opting for this, doctor?
Many. We have inquiries almost. If you could be honest, between 15 to 20 inquiries a week we have. Not
Oh.
many go for it for the reasons of the injections and the costs and everything. But to be very honest, it's a fantastic option if someone not looking to have a child before 35 and they think they have a long way to go. It's a good way to have a little backup, like how you have an insurance, how you have something to take care later on. It's like that.
Oh, wonderful. So this is a good midway.
Yeah, I mean,
For-
let's say in the past there might have been so many people who didn't get married for any reason, and they wanted to have a child. You can even do single parent surrogacy. You can have an embryo. You can have a sperm donor. You can get pregnant besides being married also. The law permits it. If a lady is in an age where she's not married, she wants to have a child, she can go for a donor sperm, get her eggs picked up, impregnate those eggs, form the embryo, and then get pregnant. So there are various options now.
Wow.
The law is quite bendable in this matter, and it's quite legal. There's no problem.
I think many people don't know about this. Or the ones who know, if they talk about this to others, there's a
Yeah.
lot of judgment.
So in India, still there's a lot of stigma on all these things. Ki, you're not married. Oh, you haven't had a child yet. People aren't happy in India with anything. Even if you have one child, they want to have second child.
Right.
So इनको खुश करना तो आसान नहीं है.
Right.
So the foreign countries are much more advanced, much more open. We are a little narrow-minded, but things are changing, Sonal. Gradually and surely, egg freezing will become a norm. Because if you notice, the number of couples actually getting married now is getting lesser. Number of couples having children quickly is reducing. There are many married patients I have who don't want to have a child. They're just scared. They don't want to get into that
Right.
entanglement.
Right.
Because it's not easy. It's, of course, it's got its pros and cons. So they just don't want to get into the system of having a child.
Obviously, and people are getting married also quite late.
Yeah, things have changed now.
Things have changed.
Women are walking shoulder to shoulder ahead of men now in many cases, and
Absolutely.
why not? And they want to study, they want to work hard, they want to do well. Why not? They owe to the universe to be their best ability. But of course, the clock of the biology won't change. The egg quality does deteriorate after 35. So this egg freezing is a good option. So what
I
if they
think
wake up
this
one day at 37 and they say we want to have a child? They should have this backup. It's a beautiful option.
I think this will reduce a lot of stress from many women
A
who
lot.
are under this marriage pressure and trying to just date anyone and everyone and just get married.
Yeah, I know it's not the right thing to do. Let's say someone is 35, 36 and their family's after them, and for the heck of it, they just open some marriage dating app and they marry the first person they meet. What is the guarantee that person is going to be a great match and good person?
Correct.
And I don't think it's the right decision to marry in a hurry. It's a good decision to conserve your fertility.
Doctor, people say that women are governed by their hormones. And in fact, there is this app also, jisme you and your partner can download the app and the partner gets notifications of, this is a luteal cycle or, whatever cycle that your wife is going through. So be more gentle with her, be more patient with her.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask you the different phases in a cycle and what are the moods or emotions that keep changing and why does that happen?
So we'll start from what you asked, luteal phase. So this luteal phase is also called as the premenstrual phase. Just
Right.
before the period start, uske 7 या 10 दिन पहले is called the premenstrual phase or the luteal phase. This is just before the periods are going to come. So there's a hormone called as progesterone, which is at its peak. It starts peaking after ovulation on the previous cycle.
Okay.
So that basically makes you a little bloated. It causes a little breast tenderness, nipple sensitivity. It can cause you to be a little anxious, have little abdominal cramps, a little irritability, anger, easily flustered. In severe cases, you feel like crying, you're easily triggered by someone irritating you. And people joke about it. Is it that time of the month?
Premenstrual.
But premenstrual is a little difficult time, especially if someone's having conditions like PCOD, PCOS, someone's having elongated cycles, delayed cycles, even their PMS is elongated. And that's when they end up having more irritability and more irritation and very emotional. Once the woman's period starts, all these symptoms go away. The cramps go away, the breast symptoms go away, all the anxiety goes away, and they eventually feel much lighter after the periods get over. Once the periods are over, after a week starts the mid cycle phase or the ovulation phase. So women get more of vaginal discharge, cervical discharge. They feel a little more sexually aroused. God has made it like that if you want to get pregnant, that particular phase, you are more receptible to a male. You are better.
Oh.
You're better in listening. Even the
So
emotions.
you're more patient
Yeah,
and
even the-
understanding.
Yes. Yeah. So men are blessed, because even women are more understanding and they are also more receptive to sex.
Okay.
They also want to feel loved, want to be
Right.
held. Sex is later on. Even the intimacy levels are higher. Intimacy could be even holding hands, sleeping together, going for a walk, cuddling, things like that. So after the ovulation phase ends, a week after that is the same thing starts again, the premenstrual phase or the luteal phase. So it's a round cycle. So different moods, different times. And I'm a complete feminist. I totally agree. Women go through so much, right from getting their first period, right from getting married, leaving your own household, living with your in-laws. If you're lucky, nowadays girls get their own houses and they're newly married. Otherwise, majority, 90% of women who married enter the in-laws' house and they have to follow the rules over there. And sometimes you might not get along with your mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law in the first go. I mean, recently there was a movie also made on this.
Mrs.
Yeah, and how much people discussing about that. Even I was asked about that movie in another podcast. So eventually, life is not easy. Don't see life as black or white. See life as grey. Life is grey. And just find the best, leave the rest over there, and you move on.
And
So,
everything is in a cycle.
everything
Basically,
is, nothing
it's
bad lasts
cyclical.
forever, nothing good lasts forever. Everything is transient. If you feel like, wow, it's going very good, life is too good, this also will pass. If you feel this is horrible, this is never going to change, this too will pass.
Right.
You get stronger eventually.
So, doctor, what are the 2 or 3 things that a woman can do when there is a premenstrual or the luteal stage, when she's feeling irritable, bloated, and your hormones
Sure,
are
sure, sure. So
totally
basically, the first and foremost thing is being active.
okay.
Being active physically, being active mentally. Distract yourself, be busy in work. Go for more of exercise, walks. Go for your yoga. Go for your Surya Namaskars. Go in nature. Go to the beach. Dip your feet in water. Go into a forest. Go for a walk. You can be sexually active also. It releases endorphins.
Okay.
Just like an exercise, even sexual activity is good for endorphins.
Right.
Have a lot of fluids. They say dark chocolate is very good in that phase.
Okay.
They say that have more of coconut water, have more of fresh juices. Don't have too much of sugar.
Oh,
Don't have too
why
much
is
of.
that?
So again, processed sugar is not very, very good. So it really gives you a very, very high spike of insulin. It gives you a little high spike of dopamine and it again falls down. Nothing is sustained. Similarly with pornography, when people who watch excessive pornography, they get these shots of dopamine and they get happy. And once they are out of that phase, again they get a drop in dopamine. So
Right.
this is not good for the mind and brain. Again, excessive screen time, late night scrolling is not very good in PMS. So more of outdoors, more of nature, more of having fresh juices, having your coconut water, having a good time, avoiding indulging in overeating, having a little dark chocolate, being physically active, being sexually active. These are the remedies I would say at home for PMS.
Wonderful. So I hope people who are listening to this do actually follow this.
I hope, but those who can't get relief from this, they can go to a doctor. There are supplements called gamma linolenic acid.
Okay.
There's something called as we use a few therapies like evening primrose oil for the excessive breast pain. Some women have a lot of irritation. They don't get sleep at night. So there are severe PMS cases also, and there are medications for everything.
Okay. So ये evening
Evening primrose oil.
primrose oil, what does it do exactly?
So basically, it suppresses the breast tenderness, the nipple sensitivity, and the mood swings of PMS.
Oh,
And there's also something called as GLA, gamma linolenic acid. Does the same thing. They give it in tandem. So depending on what symptoms she has more, we can give that.
so many people are not aware of this. Let me
Yeah,
tell
you
that.
have to go to a gynecologist who will prescribe you all these things. I do this on a regular basis.
Oh, nice. So डॉक्टर अभी हम मिसेस मूवी की बात कर रहे थे उसमें देयर इज दिस व्हेन शी इज ऑन हर पीरियड्स
No.
तो उसको बोलते हैं कि अभी किचन में मत आओ कहीं पे भी कुछ काम मत करो राइट
Yeah, I've not seen the movie, but I relate to what you're saying. I've heard about this. So this is
is
not.
it really required is the rest really
No, I don't want to get into any controversy with any any dharmic society over here. I'm myself very spiritual.
right
So what I have believed is now even various Gujarati and Jain families, lovely big families, even they, however modern and rich they are, they don't allow their wives to enter the kitchen
all right
during their periods.
right
Let me be honest, there's no scientific implication. This is all psychological. This is all spiritual.
okay
This is all religious.
okay
There are so many temples and mandirs down south and all where women who are menstruating aren't allowed.
correct
I don't want to take names. All these big temples which even I have visited, and there are big boards over there of people who are menstruating aren't allowed. Menstruation is nothing but shedding of the endometrial lining. It is a scientific process happening in animals, dogs, cats.
every
There's nothing, oh my God, happening about it. But the whole process over here is about hygiene, they feel. Now,
okay
people do worse things and enter temples. People do worse things and enter mosques and churches. You can't even name what people do things like that. But a woman who's menstruating, undergoing normal biological process, is not allowed to enter a temple. So this has no scientific
There is no
implication.
scientific.
Nothing at all. It's supposed to be of hygiene. I don't think it's a real thing because a woman is wearing a menstrual pad, she's doing her work, she isn't leaving her things over there, she's
Right.
properly hygienic.
Right.
So I'm not for this practice, but who am I to speak regarding this age-old, hundreds and thousands of years old practice? What to say?
सो इवन ये बीच में आया था मेंस्ट्रुअल लीव और उसके ऊपर भी काफ़ी चर्चा हुई
Yeah, yeah.
कि शुड women have menstrual leave? Is it really necessary? I mean, I just want to understand, is it for some women, is it necessary than others?
I can't comment on this. I have never experienced a menstrual cramp or menstrual bleeding. But definitely I have, I worked with a lot of colleagues when I was doing my residency. There are conditions like endometriosis, fibroids, where the women get really, really painful and bad periods. But I don't know how the work system will work if a woman is given leave for 3 to 4 days. Maybe she can be exempted for the first couple of days. She can seek help, seek some medication, and certain exceptional cases can be exempted and given leave on those conditions of having endometriosis or fibroids. They can be given, but to give everyone a leave without any symptoms for all their periods, I don't know how justified that is. The organizations who decide will be better to opine on that. But exceptions are there. There are women who have significantly painful periods who require hospitalization, IV. I've had a few patients who've needed to come for an injection every month. And like I'm expecting her call will come in the 3rd or 4th week,
Right.
and I get a call like, doctor, I have to come for the injection. I'm in severe pain, or the partner gives me a call, things like that.
My God.
Yeah, there are nobody has. Everyone doesn't have it easy, na.
Right.
See, everyone is stuck somewhere or the other.
Very
Either it's your personal health, it's your professional life, or it's your personal life, your relations. Nobody has it all. Everybody is stuck somewhere or the other. If someone is saying mera sab kuch 10 on 10 hai, then either that person is lying or they've become close to God. It's not possible.
Doctor, I want to ask you how comfortable, because you are a male
Yeah.
doctor, how comfortable are women sharing about their sex life?
Oh, actually, I'll tell you, I got a compliment last week.
Okay.
I was talking to a young patient the other day who was just 29, 30, and she was a little apprehensive, but then we calmed her down, offered her some water, spoke to her. I cracked a joke or two in the middle about myself. So you have to ease the patient, obviously.
Right.
And she said a line to me, the doctor had been to a senior female gynac in the last 3 months, and she judged me for being sexually active, having multiple partners. And I think there was a case where she had to undergo an abortion, or there was a checkup for an STD. So she said, doctor, I felt so judged. So I'm like, why did you feel judged? You're above 18, it's your body. As long as you're taking precautions, what's the harm? Exactly what I told her. Like, she's firing me as if she's my mother, trying to be motherly with me in the middle of the cabin with the sister and the assistant. I didn't feel comfortable. So we are very careful. We always, talk to the patient. We see how receptive she is. I will not go into and ask her. If the case requires it, I will ask her about her sex life, if it's regarding an STD or regarding a pregnancy.
Correct.
And what I always do during examination, we always have a female attendant in our hospital.
Right.
There won't be any internal examination or breast examination or internal sonography without a female. The patient can go home if the staff is not there, but the examination will not happen about them. Then accordingly, as the patient opens up, we get more history from them. And what I'm finding is the patients are opening up more to us than to a senior female gynecologist.
Which is very true.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of clients who are currently pregnant, or so so they were sharing that whenever I go to my gynac and I tell her that I'm confused whether I should even have this baby or not.
Oh God.
Okay, the gynac tells ki अरे ये तो अभी now for the next 5 years forget your life, and she feels
No,
that she says that I feel so
You
trapped.
have to do positive counseling. You
Yeah.
have to be, there's a little advantage we have as male gynacs. So we had one other patient come to me years back, and she said, doctor, my periods are very painful. I went to this doctor close by, female doctor. तो उसमें क्या हो रहा है? अगर पेन हो रहा है तो it's okay, पेन सबको होता है. And so I told her, and maybe it's because I've never experienced the pain, so I could empathize more with her. My empathy levels were much higher that,
Right.
or maybe it's so bad, I couldn't tell her. I told her that, okay, fine, let's do this, let's do that. And I have a habit, after a couple of days, if the case was a lot about discomfort, I'll message the patient.
Right.
Hi, how are you feeling? I hope this works for you. And drop in a voice note, okay, do this, or I forgot some points, I'm adding this. So these patients take it a long way. They remember that the doctor checked on us. And I don't think, with the female doctor, they got that empathy, because the female doctor herself must have been either menopausal or must be having periods of her own. She must be like, what's the big deal? This pain to hone hi wala, accept it. I went a little ahead and said, it's okay. It's not okay. You have to take this. If you still aren't better, take this. And over a course of time, over a course of days, pain reduces if it's nothing serious.
Right.
So the patients remember that someone cared for them and asked for them.
Absolutely. And most importantly, there is validation.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So that's very important. Now, I want to talk about something that is very shameful to talk about for many people.
Sure.
So women, for example, are very afraid of talking about pain during sex because it is an understanding that it is normal or natural to have pain during intercourse. मेरे काफ़ी clients have
Yeah.
who experience pain and during intercourse, and a lot of their couple issues are because of that.
Oh yeah, it's a big factor. So I'll tell you, see, now let's be very, very honest. When you're dating someone or you're married to someone, sex is an essence of that part. It's a part. Like, you are you laugh together, you eat together, you sleep together, you're romantically involved. What is the final thing? You're going to have sex only. So initially in the first few years of marriage, first years of dating, even after on, it's very important, and the frequency reduces, but it's important to both husband and wife. There are many cases we get of vaginismus, dyspareunia.
So what is vaginismus?
Vaginismus is the absolute fear of sex.
Oh,
The patient, basically, when the husband is approaching her, she'll either not let him enter or she'll snap her thighs together. Absolute no entry. That's vaginismus. There are different stages of vaginismus. There's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. There are degrees.
So
First
क्या
to fourth
होता
degree.
है?
So basically, just there are women who let the man just enter partially, but not all the way in. There's someone a man will just touch her over there, she'll close her legs. There's someone where the thought will get her scared. These women get anxiety, they get palpitations. Forget penetration, वो तो होता ही नहीं है. So vaginismus is the absolute fear of sex, and kabhi you have a very thick hymen. Now the hymen usually ruptures when you have your intercourse for the first time, you lose your virginity. So there's a surgery I do called the Fenton surgery where the hymen is surgically cut because she's fear of the first sex. So when you cut the hymen, you dilate the vagina under anesthesia and the vagina opens up. I must have done maybe 100 in the last 1 year.
oh,
So nice, young girl, newly married, everything fine, been a virgin, got married. Now she's like, acha, ye bhi karna padega abhi. Then the husband and she are trying, they've never had penetrative sex. So I asked them, what do you all do? Doctor, nothing. We love each other a lot. We go for a walk. I hug her. We had a shower together. We slept off together and we went to sleep. But usko bahut pain hota hai, so I feel very bad. So I'm like, you're a very nice guy, but eventually, what's the plan? You will eventually crave this in 6 months or a year.
Yes.
Eventually, you have to have a relation.
A novel,
Forget about pregnancy and child. वो आपका lookout है बाद में. But sex life तो important है ना,
Correct,
for the man and the woman. So
Right.
then there is proper counseling. You have to do a checkup for the patient. These cases can take long. You can spend even an hour with the patient. You call in a very nice senior nurse into your cabin. You supportively explain to the patient. You check for the hymen. The hymen ridge is thick. Sometimes she requires a surgery. I must have done so many surgeries after which women have got pregnant in the next 2-3 months. So it's a beautiful thing to do. It's called a Fenton splenectomy. You cut the hymen over there. Then after that, there's a process called as serial vaginal dilators. You get, you get penis-shaped dilators with lubrication on them, from small, medium, large to largest, and they are actually used to penetrate the vagina to make the vaginal opening bigger because the vaginal tissue is elastic. So by elasticity, the vaginal tissue is opened up and it's dilated over there. So I do all these things. In the past, you used to get glass dilators. Now you get silicone dilators. Then there's something called as dyspareunia where sex is painful. That is the next step. पहले वाले में तो sex हुआ ही नहीं है vaginismus में, कभी हुआ ही नहीं. You can have a couple who have not consummated their marriage for 3-4 years. So many couples living in Mumbai. Then dyspareunia is where sex is happening. The woman is okay with the pain, but the pain has gotten so bad. Could be endometriosis, could be fibroids, could be something like a scarring tissue after a normal delivery. जहाँ पे stitches लिए doctor ने वहाँ पे pain है. So there are so many cases where because of sex life, there's disharmony, there is infidelity, there is divorces, and the actual root cause was so small, but no one addressed.
No one even thought about this because,
Yeah.
to be honest, a lot of people would. Because my clients tell me that it's so normal to have pain.
No, it's not normal. Basically, if you have severe pain, you go to a gynecologist, get investigated. It's so easy to solve it. But unfortunately, no one's stepping out and talking. Maybe, through your channel, if these patients are told, and when you talk to your patients,
Of
since
course.
you mentioned you had these patients,
Right.
tell them that there's a solution for everything. You just require a good diagnosis, you require good guidance. There's no problem without a solution.
Doctor, these vaginismus cases, if I don't know if how many patients have shared with you if there's any trauma. So one is of course the
Oh, yes,
hymen
yes,
thing.
yes. So we've had, sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay.
So, I've dug deep into 3-4 patients' history of vaginismus, and they've actually told me that about some childhood trauma with some family member and some neighbor and some uncle where she was tried to, there was some sexual advances and some really painful things. We had someone who came in around last month, a lovely girl, working in a good corporate job and now looking to get married, engaged, very supportive partner, but just not able to have sex. Very scared, very scared. And she told me about the fact that when she was in third standard, her parents were traveling for a wedding. Her neighbors, the neighbor man, he entered the house with the pretext to borrow something from the house, and then he actually took her to the room and tried to penetrate her, and that fear of penetration. And she told her parents. Her parents didn't believe her for years. Finally, they moved out and they heard that somebody else had the same issue with the same person. Then they believed her, and that full anger in her that her parents didn't believe her and she couldn't express herself, couldn't explain. So this was like, so sad. You can call it a childhood rape, and it's very difficult to. Now, this happened when she was 8, 9. Now she's 28, 29. So there's someone in her screaming inside. She couldn't take revenge, couldn't do anything. And apparently, if it happens multiple times, it's horrible.
It is.
So I was working at a government hospital for a long time as a lecturer in Bandra Bhabha Hospital. And that's when we saw many cases of rape coming in from the police station. And I was the chief investigating officer. Ke saath I was the doctor. So to check these patients, and I have examined girls as young as 9 and 10, with a ruptured hymen. It's so painful, but it was work back in the day. And I've made these reports that is actually presented in the court of law. So I've seen all these things.
It's very tough.
These patients are the ones who develop this sexual problems in the future. Not all, but some develop it, and you have to trace the history.
And I'm sure with proper, counseling, therapy.
Yeah, but these things are soft. You require a very supportive family. You require a very, very mature partner. You can't get married to a boy. You get married to a man who understands you and takes care of you. Because if you marry someone who's brash and in a hurry to have sex and all, these women take time. Once they get settled, then they're good to go.
Doctor, have you seen that women in general are, they have a lot of guilt or shame associated with pleasure during sex?
Not really. Now it's all changed. Yeah. Now with the internet and the pornography and all, and there are so many Instagram pages that women are, following and all, and everybody has a right. Now the whole world is one fingertip away.
Right.
So
But was there a time maybe when you initially started practicing?
So there have been patients who, have had different kinds of desires and they've had dreams. Some have shared with us, and some women felt the man couldn't satisfy her because she had previously been with somebody else who was doing these wild things. Like they do this kind of, they dominate and
Very
they
kinky, huh?
yeah, kinky kind of things, BDSM and all that stuff. Or there was somebody who wanted to do it, didn't get it, or didn't want to do it, had to do it. So there have been some stories, but nothing in particular. Now women and men are on the same page. ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. Both we have couples even in their mid-50s who are sexually active, and we have wives telling us that my husband doesn't have stamina now, he has high blood sugar, and grown-up kids are in their 20s and they want to be happy. Why not? So we advise them the best thing that, take it easy, lose some weight, good lifestyle, go to the gym, and be in love always.
Doctor, of course, a lot of people must be coming to you for fertility issues.
Yeah.
Right? And like during COVID, we saw many people who were not able to conceive for years started conceiving during COVID when there was no office, no travel, no pollution, nothing. So is stress and fertility really related?
Oh, full on. So the full pressure of, we've had couples who come to us that, they want to plan a child. Now it's not like a project. You're not planning to study for an exam. You want to get pregnant, you want to bring a child, you want to get a soul into your life.
Right.
So we tell the patient, okay, fine, have these medications, and these days you have to have sex. So I've actually got calls from the husbands in the night at 11 o'clock. Sir, I'm not able to do it. because you said na कि आज करना है कल करना है, so the performance anxiety has entered me. Otherwise I'm damn good to go. I can have sex anytime with her. I've had 3-4 girlfriends in college. I was a Casanova, but now you're saying na कि have sex today and tomorrow, then she'll get pregnant. So I'm imagining my wife as a machine. I have to put my sperm inside and get her pregnant. So नहीं हो रहा है, and these patients actually suffer. So performance anxiety steps in, plus the stress of work, money. Every day is not a lovely day at work. There are fights. There are people who get triggered. There's bad weather. There is food issues. There's weight gain. Not a good lifestyle. Not slept so well. All these things affect the sexual life a lot.
So do stress hormones affect the hormones in women especially
Yeah, of course.
that are related to reproduction?
Yeah, of course. So there's a hormone called prolactin. Prolactin is raised in stress. When you have low dopamine, prolactin rises.
Okay.
It causes irregular periods, can cause unruptured follicles, can cause failure in ovulation,
Okay.
can basically make you lead to infertility. And of course, you're not sexually aroused. You're planning the pregnancy mechanically. So it's best to get pregnant by fluke in love. But those who don't get it like that, what do? They have to plan.
Right.
So the mind is the biggest game. Actually, the whole work of fertility, infertility, of sex, and rather the entire life perspective is about mindset. If you're a weak-minded person who gets easily influenced, easily flustered, worried easily, you will not have an easy life. But you're with someone who moves positively, who
Right.
says that, okay, this is the problem. How do they get better from here? These people do well in life.
Right.
It's all about the mind.
So it is because of so of course when you feel stressed, prolactin levels in women.
Yeah, one of the hormones. There's
One of
there's
the
even
hormones.
there's even cortisol, ACTH, even they are raised. There's adrenaline. There are different levels of stress. It can go from bad to worse. Then you become an anxiety patient.
Right.
You end up going to a psychiatrist taking anti-anxiety pills. Then everything will be with the anxiety and pills. Can you take this? So it goes downward. If a person has a strong mind, they don't require all these things.
Right. So what would you say to people? Any 3 things that they need to do if they are dealing with fertility issues to stay stress free?
Oh, very good. Don't compare. Don't compare to your best friend or your younger sister or elder sister. Don't over Google. The algorithm of all these reels nowadays on social media is if you see one reel for a long time, like it, they'll show you 25 more.
Correct.
I don't know kahan se aa rahe, but they have it ready.
Yeah.
Don't compare. Don't over Google. Don't over social media. Enjoy the process. Live your life. Whether pregnancy or fertility happens or doesn't happen, you have to live your life for yourself.
Right.
You have to take care of a relation. If you're happily married, you continue being happily married. If you're not happily married, please don't have a child. You're going to make
Very
it. You're
important.
going to make it worse for the 3 of you all and that young child who's going to be born in the world like that. There are some people who are married and they continue being married because of the child.
Right.
So sometimes things get better, but sometimes they don't.
Correct.
They should say ना कि बच्चा कर लो सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
Not necessary.
Not at
कभी-
all.
हाँ, worse हो जाता है.
Yeah, so you have to think of the child.
Right.
And sometimes some people are, very careful. They compromise and they get things better and life निकल जाती है. But please don't make this a project and spoil your life. This should be a part of your happy life and project. Not that ये आएगा तो हम happy होंगे.
हाँ. So it is not cause and effect. If this happens, then we will be happy or we will have a better life.
Only you can keep yourself happy. Nothing external can keep
Very
you
true.
happy. Only you can become miserable yourself. Nothing external can make you miserable.
So doctor, any words of wisdom for people who are, especially women, who have been going through reproductive issues for a very long time, and what could help them, of course, apart from visiting a gynecologist,
Yeah, of course.
definitely, what would help them with their mindset?
So definitely choose one path. Choose one doctor. If you aren't happy, choose the other. We've had patients who've gone to 3, 4, 5 doctors and got confused. Too many cooks spoil the broth. No doctor will do the wrong thing.
Right.
Some might do little more things that will help you. So choose one doctor and please follow one path. Second thing, stop comparing your life to every single person around. Thirdly, I know it's easy to say, but enjoy the process. Let's say you have to go for a sonography or a few hormone tests. You do it happily. If you're going to do it unhappily, nothing is going to happen. See, let's talk on the soul level.
Right.
What is pregnancy? You're inviting a soul into your womb. Why will a soul choose you and come to you if you're an unhappy, miserable, angry person?
if
Now-
the soul has too many struggles.
You are
And
inviting
lifeless.
you'll be inviting an unhappy soul. So
Yeah.
enjoy the process, be happy.
Yeah.
Stop comparing, stop seeing on social media this one had a child. You don't know anyone's internal story. You
Right.
might see a photograph of a husband, wife, and 2 children, very happy. How do you know how happy they are really? How do you know how they are doing financially? No one will tell you their ghar ka andar ka baat bahar.
Right, right, right.
So just live in the moment. Be very spiritual when you're doing all these things. Be the best version of yourself and continuing the best version when it happens. So, I always, I'm a bhakt of Radha Krishnan. I'm a follower of ISKCON. So, what I've learned in life is your thoughts make your life.
Right.
If you're going to be a miserable person, it's going to be miserable. Let's say someone tells you, you go to an astrologer or you go to someone and says it's looking bad for you, looking bad. You can change it by changing your thoughts and your mindset.
Right, right, right.
I'll always stick by mindset, always.
Wonderful. I mean, so much is related to what we think and how we think.
Everything.
Right. And even the body responds exactly according to
Absolutely.
that.
I have seen, Sonal, I have seen a miserable rich person and I have seen a happy poor couple in the same day.
Right.
It's only about mindset.
Yeah.
A rich person might come to you in a fancy Jaguar, have a nice big smartphone costing 1 lakh, but they'll be unhappy because their mind is unhappy. You might have someone who's a very simple husband, wife, come from their office, come together, working, not looking to their best external appearance, but happy over here, going back home happy. Smiling face.
Right.
Very important.
Lovely, doctor. I think
you
you're
so
very, I mean, you helped understand the correlation
Yeah.
between hormones, emotions, mental health.
Yeah, I tried.
And कहाँ पे seriously लेना चाहिए.
Yes, yes.
And what are the things to do so that women can lead a more stress-free, better and emotionally healthy life. So thank you so much.
Thank you for calling me, Sonal. I had a great time. Thank you so much. And thank you to your entire team.
Thank you.
Okay.